Okay. So this is what I think we did yesterday, right? So we read this data. I think I was able to read this data from online again, but I don't know if today we'll be able to read it or not. Let me run it and see if it's running. Yeah. So you're reading this. Sometimes that this version, the raw version may be down. Okay. So I don't know. See, evening I was able to read, but morning now again looks like there's a problem. So we'll change it to our local reference. Not a problem. So we read this data and we discussed about missing values, right? So when you have a missing value, yeah, it fails to respond. So I don't know why it's okay. So let me refer it to my local machine. 1 second. Let me copy the path. Okay, just a second. Data set master, and here it is. Yes. Okay, I should be able to read the data. Okay. Yeah. So there's some data which are missing. So I want to visualize the missing data. Okay. So we chose those two colors, right? And we visualize. So if this is what we saw yesterday, you can see the graph, right? We saw that there's one column which has a lot of missing values. Okay. And there are some columns, obviously, there's some missing values here. And these columns that you see missing values definitely have missing values, but there could be columns because it has 190, 120 almost K, right? 1,20,000, 120K rows. So there could be some missing, rows here or here somewhere in between, which we are not able to see because obviously we have less area and we are trying to cover a lot of data, isn't it? So, so definitely there are some missing values. That's what this plot says. Now we will run our for loop. Okay, we'll go through each column and see if there are missing values or not. Right. So first we have to understand how many missing values are there. Then the strategy for handling missing values are there are generally two types. One type is you remove the missing values. Okay, you remove the missing values. Second is okay, you replace the missing values with some value. Okay, which will not have much impact on the analysis. Okay, so when you are removing the missing values, right? Now, if you see this particular column probably has 95% of data missing. If this column does not have 95% data, so it makes sense for us to remove this column. Yes or no? Right? If it does not have does not have data, so what's the point? It's not going to help us in any way in our analysis. So we can get rid of this column. Same thing, you have to look at the rows also. So let's say if you take a row and let's say out of 20 columns that you have, 15 columns are 15, you have 20 columns in a row and a particular row has more than 15 column values missing. So it has only 5 values, 15 values are missing in that row. So those rows can also be deleted, isn't it? Okay. So we want to go with as less data as less data in sense relevant data as possible, because we know that in computer, right, garbage in garbage out. If you carry garbage, you will end up doing garbage work, right? So your data that you're going to carry has to be just perfect. If you have perfect data, you will get perfect result, perfect output. Yes. Okay. So that's why we do missing data. So see, missing data you can't run, okay? Because when you run this algorithm, they expect value in every row. So either you have to drop or you replace the missing value with something. So dropping column, if you have more values missing, drop them. Rows, if there are more values in the rows, you drop them. You take a call, whether it is going to be 50%, 90%, 80%, you take a call. Okay. That's one. Second thing is, now after doing dropping rows and columns, also there are some missing values. In the sense, there's a row which has only one missing value. Now, if a row has only one missing value, just because only one missing value is there, we can't drop the rows. If we do that, then probably 90% of our data will get deleted, right? Okay. So what do? We replace with some value. Now, what is that some value? Generally, okay, it depends upon what analysis you are doing. When we are doing some analysis, generally machine learning kind of work, then we prefer to replace it with median value. Okay, median value when you, or average value, right? When you have average value, right, it does not impact the analysis basically, right? So you want that row because you, not because that you want that value to be median, but because you don't want to get rid of other column values from that row. So we will replace it with median value. If you talk about numbers, numbers can be replaced with median values. Non-numbers, yes.
Sorry, Swapnil, but yesterday you mentioned that in data analysis, we do not replace it with median, like when we do data analysis.
No, I'm saying that I never said that we do not. I'm saying in some situation, you will replace with median values. Some situation, if median values is something that is going to confuse you, you replace it with something else, some like minus 99 to indicate that,
Oh, yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So it all depends upon you, what's your objective, what you want to do. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
okay, but you have to definitely replace with some number.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, your
Mm-hmm.
algorithm will not work. So,
Yeah, sure.
we replace with median values sometimes, okay, when you think that, and see, if you have to perform mathematical analysis, okay, now if you have to perform some mathematical analysis, replacing with minus 999, okay, it is not going to help you, because then the data, it's like you're adding, outliers, and the result will tend to be impacted by outliers, isn't it? So if you have to perform some mathematical operations, okay, we replace with median only, because median, okay, is not going to impact much. Like, see, anyway, you'll be finding standard deviation, median, those kind of analysis. If you do, if you have median value, it's not going to change the other output by much. So remember this. If you have to do just the visualization, if you just want to plot the graph and you want to show to your customer or to your business lead, to your manager, right? In that case, it makes sense to replace with like minus 19 or something, because when it comes up on the graph, you can say that those are missing values and they will ignore. Okay, you can write in the line that, the minus 99 bar is to represent missing values, please ignore. Okay, so you'll ignore it. But when you're doing mathematical operation on it, how can mathematical equation ignore it? They can't ignore it, right? So that's why there it makes sense to replace with a value that will not have much role to play in the analysis. You're replacing, okay, that will not have much role to play with the analysis. It makes sense? Okay. So yes,
Yes.
so if you have to visualize, see visualization, you can see, oh, minus 99, okay, ignore, because it's our mind, we can ignore it. But mathematics will not be able to ignore it. Okay, when you do calculations. So there we will prefer to add median value there. Okay, so let's get started. We have to work on it. Okay, so as I said, we will run a loop. We'll run a loop and we will try to find the percentage of missing value. Each of the command I'm going to explain to you. Okay, which command I'm using, why I'm using. So, if you have doubt, please stop me and ask me. Okay, as I said, these are going to be new, right? So anything that you are learning new will be difficult initially, correct? But if you do it more than once, it becomes easy, correct? Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to write a for loop. Okay. So for loop for maybe column, col, in. Okay. Now I have to give a value. I'm going to say hotel df dot columns. For call in hotel df dot columns. Okay. I'm going through each value of hotel columns, right? And okay, each value of column in the hotel column. That means hotel the data frame dot columns will give you all the columns that the data frame has in a list format. Okay, if you print hotel df dot columns, you'll get column 1, comma column 2, comma column 3, so on. Okay, and we will actually display later for some other purpose. You can see. So C in list, it is like saying column in list. Column in list means col will take first value, then second value, then third value. So in a way, I'm going to access each column one by one here. And now I'm going to calculate percentage missing. Okay, percentage missing, and I can say, okay, I have to use numpy here. So I'm going to say import numpy as np. So I'll say np dot, okay, mean. So np dot mean will give us average. So np has all the functions that you can think of in Excel. NumPy we did, right? So all the functions that you have in Excel are available in NP. So like when you have average, mean, okay, sum. So your NumPy will have those functions. Okay. So if you know something to do in Excel, the formula, you can use same formula using NP. Okay. Formula. So here I'm saying np.mean. So I'm performing mean. And then I'm going to say hotel df of col. So it's taking one by one column. Now I'm checking, is it null? Is null will be true if it has null. Okay. So it will take 111. Is not, so true means 1, false means 0. So it is taking 111, and then you will divide, you will perform the total sum. Let's say you have 100 rows. Out of 100 rows, 50 rows are blank, right? So you will add 50 by 100. So you get 0.5, right? 0.5. So if you have to convert into percentage, I have to say 0.5 into 100. That's why you get 50%, isn't it? So it's going to give you the average of the values that are there. Okay. If every value is null, then you get 1, basically. You know, it's like adding 15 values and dividing by 15. So you get 15 by 15, 1. And then if you multiply by 100, you get percentage, 100%. So I'm going to say null is null. So you get this, you know, kind of the average value. Now I can print it. Okay, print what? F. Okay, and here you see I'm going to say col. Okay, has percentage. Okay, so here I'm going to say percent missing into 100, isn't it? To get the average. Okay. Now when you run it, I can comment this part. I don't want to see the graph coming up again and again. So I'll comment it so that we don't have to wait for the graph comes and then we click close. Now you see. This is a list of columns and the percentage missing. Okay. So ID has 0%. So absolutely these columns do not have any missing values. Here you see 0.008%, 0.008%, maybe very less data missing, no data missing. Okay. You see this, okay, 0.5, half of the data is missing here. Half percent, not 50%, half percent. Okay. See here, company has 94% missing, isn't it? Okay, it has 94% missing. So a lot of data is missing here. So first of all, this will become our target. Let's remove this. Let's remove this column itself. So I'm going to remove this particular column. Okay. Yes. Okay. So let's remove this as 94% data missing. So what's the point of carrying a column with 94% missing? Okay. So I'm going to remove this column. So I'm going to say here, I'll do it before so that we can see that column doesn't appear there, or it'll have 0% missing. So or a column will not appear rather, right? We are dropping the column, so column will no longer be there. So I'm going to say new hotel DF. Okay, hotel. This is what? Country. No, not country. It was company. Okay. So new hotel DF company is equal to, okay, this, but I have to drop this column itself. So if I have to drop this column, obviously this will not be there. Okay. So we're talking about the data frame itself. So I'm saying from data frame, drop this column. From data frame, drop this column. So how do you drop? You say data df dot drop. Dot drop will remove the row or column. So we have to say drop, then we have to mention the name of row or column, and then say axis. Axis equal to 0 would mean drop row. Axis equal to 1 means drop column. Axis 1 represents column, axis 0 represents rows. Okay, so I'm dropping a column. So what's the column name? Okay, you can give that value as a list here. So for us, it's only one column, company. Okay, let's run it. Let's see if I've got it right. Okay, so yes. Now if you see here, this does not have company. Right? Because we dropped it. So we have dropped our first column. Okay, so maybe I'll put this here.
So Swapnil, is there a threshold percentage, like,
It's up to
or
you.
is it
It's
up
up
to
to you.
us?
Up to you.
Okay.
Okay. Statistics will only tell you numbers. How to interpret is up to you. Okay. So that's why initially you'll talk to your team, and later when you get more experience, you can decide, okay, 70% is threshold, or 80% or 50% sometimes. You can decide. Okay. But definitely it has to be higher value, right? Higher, better. Correct. Dropping column, okay, company, since it has more than 95% values missing. Okay, see, I'm going to do this, and after this, I'm going to give you one more exercise. I'm going to share the content link for this as well as the other one. Okay, so please practice those. Okay, so it's also about practicing one. You will know what you are doing. Okay, and it will also help you to answer the interview that this is what we had and this is what we did. Okay, data cleaning is as important, okay, as any of the things. So if you look at data analytics, 30% you can think is important, right? Everything is important. Okay, so data cleaning is first part, 30% important. Second part, running the model and analysis, that is again 30%. 30% again is your post analysis. Okay, you run the model, you got the output, then how do you represent the output? So in fact, I would say the middle part, running the model, is, since we are not doing anything, right? We are making a Python to do that. So there's not hard work there. Hard work is at the initial stage and the later stage. Initial stage is a lot of hard work. How do you get the data which is clean and right, just right data? We don't want to give more than what is required or less than what is required. Just right. Okay, that's the objective. Okay, so this column is dropped now. And here I can check percentage missing. Okay. So this is about Okay, done. Now, now when you talk about, now we have to focus on rows to delete. Okay, which rows to delete? Now, how do you calculate the number of missing values? Okay, is there a way to calculate the missing values? Okay, so what we'll do is we will add one extra column. We will add one extra column for all the columns. Okay, and this column we will track if the data is missing or not, yes or no. So let's say if you have here like child, babies, city, country. So I'll have babies underscore missing, child underscore missing, city underscore missing, country underscore missing. Okay. And there I'll put 1 0 1 0. Then next step, I'm going to count how many ones are there. So see, that's the only way, right? Here we don't know which columns are missing. I mean, we can know which columns are missing, but how do I calculate how many columns are missing total? To calculate total, I need to have something, some numbers to calculate, isn't it? So I'm going to artificially introduce, column for each of the columns with missing. And then I'm going to add it 1 or 0, and that's what I'm going to calculate it later. Okay. So let's see how I'll do that. So I have to iterate through each row and column to see if they are missing. And if they are missing, then do perform something, right? So I'm going to take the same stuff here. And I'm going to calculate missing values, or calculate total missing values for each row. Total missing values for each row. Okay, so I'm taking the column. Okay, and I'm saying directly we'll say missing. Okay, so here I don't have to say mean. I'll simply say missing. Okay, so missing will give me 1 or 0, true or false, right? Is null. Is null is giving me just 1 or 0, isn't it? Okay. Now I need to perform the sum on this, right? So I'm going to say, okay, num missing, something like this. Num missing equal to np dot sum. Okay, and then I'm going to say missing. So it's going to calculate how many missing are there. Okay, and then I'm going to save it like a number, final number. Now I'm going to check if the missing is more than 0. That means that row has a missing value. Okay, then I'm going to add a new column. So this is how you add a new column. So I'm going to say F format, and in this I'm going to give the column name, and I'm going to say is missing. Okay, and here I'm going to say column. So column name, just like said, you have child, you have country. So this is a call will be like that. Now I'm saying call underscore is missing. Okay, so if that is missing, it will have 1 or it will have 0. Okay, now this is equal to, okay, equal to your missing. Missing will have 1 or 0. That's all, right? So it's going to, we are going to add 1 or 0 to all the column values. So if the corresponding column is missing, if child is missing, there's no value for child, the child underscore is missing will have 1. Okay, and like that we'll be able to generate number of missing values later. So far all clear here?
Yes.
Okay, so is missing, done. Now what I'll do is I'm going to calculate the missing values from each of these data. Okay, so here I'm going to run a for loop. So I'm going to say for column in hotel df dot columns. Okay, and then I'm going to say here if is missing. Okay, so this is the column name, right? So I'm saying all the column names. So if is missing in column, that means the column that I'm dealing with has is missing values. Okay, if it has missing values, then I'm going to take column and I'm going to create a list. So I'm going to say, okay, something like is missing columns equal to, okay, is missing column blank. If the column has is missing, okay, if column has is missing, okay, then I'm going to add the column in this. So I'm going to say is missing column dot append col. That means this column is missing and I'm going to append it. Now I'm going to simply print. So I'm going to say print, okay, missing data, something like that I can say. Okay, and then let me give this is missing column. Let's see. Now you see. So these are your columns which are missing values. Is cancelled underscore is missing. Lead time is the main tab column and I've added is missing. Arrival date week number is the main column and added is missing here. Okay, so I'm checking only is missing columns and value is missing. So you get all these columns here. Now what we'll do is we will say if the missing values are more than 12, then we will drop those indexes. Okay, so now I'm going to perform the count. Okay, so here I'm going to say index missing or row missing, right? Index, generally rows are referred as index in data frame pandas, right? So the rows are called as indexes. Okay, each of the row is one index. So you have index missing variable. I'm going to declare. I'm going to say total df. Okay, in bracket, I'm going to say total df of. Okay, now num missing. What is num missing? Okay, we have not added here, right? So okay, so if okay, so this is the missing columns. Okay, I'm going to perform this total the values of missing rows, values of missing columns for each row. Okay, so here I'm going to say total df num missing. So this will have the total count of number of missing. Num missing equal to total df, okay, of is missing column, okay, dot sum. We are doing sum of which value x is equal to 1, because we want to do the sum on 1 is what? Row or column? So across the column we are going to perform the sum, right? So okay, so total df number missing. So now missing value equal to, if you have this, okay, if you have this and if this count is greater than, you can decide. So I'm saying out of 30, if more than 12 have missing values, I'm going to remove them. Greater than 12, let's say 12 what index rows. Okay, so independent. So int missing, okay, index missing will have the list of indexes. Indexes here start with 0, right? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 up to 1, 1, 9, 4, something. So it will have numbers of the indexes which has missing values more than 12. Now we will drop all those. So how do you drop? You say, I'm going to say drop the rows which has more than 12 or more than 11, right? I'm saying greater than 12, so more than 12. More than 12 missing values. Okay. Now here I'm going to say hotel df, okay, equal to hotel df dot drop. Okay. And now I'm going to put my all the indexes which are missing. Okay. And I'm going to say axis equal to 0. Axis equal to 0 is for rows. Okay. And now if you run the same, right, checking, where's the checking? Percentage missing. Okay. Now here what we'll do is we will not do percentage missing, we will do total missing, because percentage could be like 0.000, right? Doesn't matter, right? We can check percentage only. So I have dropped column, I have dropped rows. Now let's check again after row and column drop. Okay, so let's see. Did we? Yeah, so this is telling you all the rows, right? So what I'll do is now I'm going to put percentage missing, and I'm going to put the condition here. If percent missing is greater than 0.0. Okay, so we want only those who have missing values, not everything. Okay, now you see these columns are missing values. Children, babies, male, country, deposit, agent. Right, so these are your missing values. So what we have to do is now we have to replace these missing values with some value. Okay, so let's see the data first. We'll see what type of data it has, and then we'll decide what do we do. Okay, so I'm going to go to our data master and go to hotel. There's H. Yeah. So now see, after dropping, we are left with only few values, few columns which are missing values, right? So those are children, babies, meal, country. Children, babies, meal, country. Okay. Then you have deposit agent. Deposit agent. Now you see, agent has numbers, right? So agent has numbers, children, babies have numbers, right? So, okay. So what we'll do in this case, we will replace it with median. See, replace it with median because I'm going to show you, how to calculate median. That's the part of the exercise. Instead of saying median, you can just at least say equal to minus 999, right? That will also work. So children, babies, agent are numbers. meal, country, deposit, they look like text and they look like categorical values. Okay, so we'll convert them as categorical and numbers. Okay, so first, okay, let's let's convert meal, country, deposit type. Right? So how do we convert? Come here, you say hotel DF of, okay, you write meal equal to PD dot categorical, okay, categorical, and you say hotel DF meal. So this is now converted into categorical value. Let me take this, put it here, 3, because we have meal, country, not capital. Okay. The case has to be same, okay? So all small. So country. So country goes here. Then mail country, deposit type, right? So let me copy it directly from here. Okay, so these 3 columns have got converted into canonical. Now what we'll do, okay, I'll show you how to take one column and perform replace with median. Okay, and for canonical we'll take mode. Mode, we have something called as top. Top will give us the maximum occurring value and replace with that. So you can do with for loop, or you can do directly one by one. So I'm going to change integer value one by one, and the non-integer, these 3 I will change using loop, so that you can see both how to perform, right? So I'm going to say median equal to, okay, median equal to hotel DF of children, right? It was here only, I was looking somewhere else. Children, and then I'm going to say dot median. Median, right? So this is how you get median. So after getting median, I need to replace the missing values with median. So I'm going to say hotel DF children equal to hotel DF children, okay? But if it is NA, okay, NA means not available, blank. If it is blank, then you replace with median. Otherwise, don't replace. So it's only going through each of the column and we'll see if it is blank or not. If it is blank, okay, replace with median. So, okay, so now we can copy and paste 3 times for 3 different columns. So you say babies, and it was agent, right? So children done, now babies. And then you have agent. Okay, so this is manually, you can do it. Or what we can do is, you can run a loop. So to loop, okay, we need to identify the numeric values, right? So I'm going to show you how to do non-numeric value, and similarly you can do for numeric values. So for non-numeric values, I need to get non-numeric values. So I'm going to say non-number columns, okay, equal to hotel DF, okay, dot select data type, dot select underscore D types, okay, and here I'm going to say exclude, sorry, exclude, okay, exclude what? NP dot number. So this is going to exclude the columns which has number as data type, D type, data type. If you want to include only columns with numbers, you will say include, right? Include NP dot number will include columns with, integer data type. Exclude will exclude the columns with data type, right? Okay. Now I will iterate through this set of columns, not all 33 or 32 that we have now. I'll iterate through only these columns. So I'm going to say okay, for call in non-number columns. So it'll give me column names one by one. Okay. Now I'm going to check, is it missing? Missing equal to hotel DF. I'm going to go through the entire list. Okay. Not only those three, but entire list and see if it's missing, then replace with maximum occurring, right? That's how you do loop. Okay. So if you have one or two, you can do it straight away. If there's more than two, you can prefer loop to iterate through all the columns and then replace it. Okay. So I'm going to say if, okay, missing equal to hotel DF, okay, hotel DF, okay, dot is null. Hotel DF of this column, right? Call is null. Okay. That means it'll give you one, right? So one for missing. Okay. Okay. So now we'll calculate the number of missing. Number of missing equal to NP dot sum of, you give the missing. So this will give us a total count of missing values. Great. After this, we'll write a condition if num missing greater than 0. Okay. So that means these are the columns which have missing values, right? So now we will perform the, so replace the missing values with mode. So how to calculate mode? We generally use top. So I'm going to say top equal to hotel DF bracket open column dot describe, okay, and describe what? Top. So this is how you get the mode, maximum occurring value from a column in Python, using Python. Okay. So we know what mode is. Okay. Now simply we'll say, okay, here we are using fill NA med. I'm going to use fill NA top. So hotel DF, the column name is what? Coal. Okay. So coal is column, hotel DF call, and here also you have column. And you say instead of fill NA mod, you say fill NA top. Check again for missing values. So we'll run our logic again. You can use same logic here, right? Okay. So if number, or let's use something here now that we have. Okay. Okay. So better we'll look at only if it is missing, right? We don't want to display all, right? So I'm going to say, okay, if it is greater than 0, okay, and then I'm going to display this. Okay. Here's the total, right? Not percentage, but total we are talking about. We did num sum. Okay. Scroll has total missing values. And we don't have to do into 100, right? It is number. Okay. Done. And we are hoping it to have none, right? So I'm going to say here print after update the missing column R. Okay. Now let's run and see. Okay. So doing num calls, I have to do all the calls, right? So I'm going to say df hotel df dot columns, right? Now let's run it and see. So after updating, missing columns are none. There's nothing that has been added. Yes. Now, second option, we said that if you want to replace with something else, if you have to do that, you don't have to run all these checks and this thing, right? Simply you will say, okay, hotel DF children, okay, fill NA, let's say -99, right? -99. If you are doing it for this one, you will say hotel DF, okay, and let's say you are doing country, so you say country, you say fill NA, not available, something like this, right? So that people will know, oh, okay, this data is not available, right? So this is how you can do it. It's simple. Yes. It is difficult? No. It is complex? Yes. Okay. So you understood every step, right? Yes or no? Nobody's talking. Why? Is all okay? What happened?
Okay, sir.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, I think somebody joined and then dropped. Okay, fine. So this is difficult, no. Complex, yes. Okay, because you have not done it, right? If you do it once, it becomes easy, right? So we'll stop here for today. I'm going to share this one plus all the notes. Okay, and the note will have some more exercise. Please do that. Okay. And the idea is same thing, whether it is Python or Tableau, the idea is same. Okay. So we'll do it once we understand the idea, and then we'll replicate over other analysis. So this is whenever you're doing data, this is the data analysis. This is the first step. Whether you're doing with Excel also, first step is data ready for analysis. Okay. No, data is missing values. If data is missing, how can you perform any analysis? You can't perform any analysis. So that's where you have to perform data cleaning. That's your number one step.